Hi, everyone. It's Bev Adamo with Wild and Wise Women, Wild and Wise Sisterhood. And I am here today with the amazing, extraordinary, outstanding, excellent, brilliant, and I really mean all those things, Holly Chadwick. Hi, Holly.
Hi. Nice to
Oh,
hear about
my. I'm so happy to be here with you today. And whether you all are watching this live or you're catching us on replay, we're here because we're of something really exciting. We're here because of the first Wild and Wise Women collaborative book. And there are 10 extraordinary women who stepped up to the invitation and answered the call to bring their voice, their story, their inspiration, their joys, their resources, their tools, their challenges, their victories out to the world. And I'm so proud of all of you. Holly, I'm so excited about this. And I'm going to cut myself off right now and ask you to please tell us about, because we're here today to learn more about you, as well as what you actually wrote, what your story that you shared with us is. So please start out by letting us know what the title is, and then we'll go from there. I'm excited. So thank you, Holly, for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Bev. And I'm really excited and proud to be part of this book collaborative. It's launching Thursday. Oh my God, that's like, wow. Wow. Yeah, my title of my chapter is From Straightjacket Bound to Success. And it's got like a shock value in there with the straitjacket term, but it's also a play of words because um, you're bound in a straitjacket, but it's also what bound me to success by going through that experience. So I guess I'll dive in and tell you a little bit about that experience.
Great. And I love that because at first I didn't recognize the paradox, the beautiful, powerful paradox that's there is that, a straitjacket can bind us in a way that we feel restricted and everything else, or it can actually bind us to our success. Wow, that's powerful. Okay, tell me more. Tell us more.
Yeah, so I started doing this documentary about my mom. And my mom is a very unique individual. She's really smart, really beautiful in her own way. She is known in her local community as a walking jukebox. As she hears music in her head, she has auditory hallucinations. She's schizophrenic, and she's gone from a little more extreme hallucinations to now just music in her head, which is still hard to live with, but she does. So in doing this documentary, I thought it'd be mostly about me and my relationship with her and whatnot. But from doing it, I realized it was more about me and my own stigma of mental illness and my own problems and bouts of having experiences similar to hers. So, just talking about this is sometimes hard to say like on camera that, I was in a straitjacket because I was hearing music in my head too, but that's what happened. And, but I got through it, and my chapter is about overcoming, going from that extreme to becoming a successful filmmaker and being successful in life and thriving. So
Wow. Oh my gosh, Holly, that is, it gives me chills when you're talking about that. What an amazing, courageous, extraordinary journey you've traveled. And, I am filled with gratitude for you and for your willingness, first of all, to take that journey and to walk it in a way that, maybe others have not been quite as successful doing.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know too many people that have overcome. Like, I don't hear those stories. I just hear the tragic ones of them stuck
Right.
in a hospital or, you know, and I don't know. I wish there was more resources for help, because I think I had to somehow get a fire lit under my bum enough to find it within myself to overcome. And I don't know exactly how I did that, other than
Yeah.
the universe caught me. And, I think part of the hearing the music actually led me to safety. Like actually salsa my way from like wandering around my neighborhood barefoot to the hospital. And I can't, like, it's like it's magical like that. I actually wound up safe, like absolute magic. So
Wow.
yeah.
Well, I love that. And you said you salsa'd your way, danced
Yes,
your way.
yes.
That's
And
amazing.
it was kind
Oh,
of funny because I was taking salsa lessons, like a couple months previously and leading up to this episode, and
mhm.
I was trying to do it as kind of a therapy because my grandparents had just died, and I was trying to get out of the house and do fun things, and
Yeah.
I was learning salsa, and so even though the music in my head didn't really match I was trying to like disrupt the trance, and yet like I knew where my house was, but I couldn't like physically get there unless I salsa. It's totally
Wow.
screwed up, but it was like, yeah, it was magical.
Well, as you're talking about it, it's you said something about it being totally screwed up. What I see it as being is totally genius, and it's a very powerful metaphor for me, not having gone through what you have and having had my own journey, but and for anyone else out there who's listening to this and resonates in any way, it's about I love that because you said even though the music didn't match the steps you were doing, there was some part of you that knew, that was drawn, that the universe had to, was holding through this whole process of walking through that. That's amazing. Did you was there what kind of emotions were going on with you? I mean, was it
I
fear?
felt
Was
like
there
I was tied up, like I was there, I was watching it, but I couldn't do anything about it. I was like
okay?
tied up like inside to like I was trying to at some level I was trying to make it to different neighbors' houses to ask for help, but I was barefoot and a lot of the driveways had gravel, so I couldn't just
Oh,
walk nicely without hurting my
yeah,
feet.
that's
And so,
right.
and then I couldn't find a house that had a driveway that was concrete with anybody home. I was wandering around. So at some
Wow.
level, I knew I was trying to get help, but I was completely like, I couldn't talk. I couldn't like, even if I had gotten there, I don't know what I would have said. Like it was like, I was like tied up and watching myself doing these strange things. Like it was just bizarre. So
Wow, how amazing. What courage. How old were you when this was going on?
I was 25. So yeah.
Well, it's interesting because it's you're talking, what I'm seeing is that there are a lot of us on this planet who, if it's not happening now, at some point in our life, I know that I felt the same way. I felt like I was watching what was going on in my life, and at the same time, it's like I couldn't find it's like I couldn't find any way to do anything about it, and
Right, right.
yeah, and I can really identify with what you're saying. It's like I see that there's help there, there's houses there, and some houses or some resources, there's people, but I couldn't get to them because I couldn't walk easily through that. So what ended up where did you end up where the universe caught you and you were safe? Where did that lead you?
Well, it was funny. It was really early in the morning, and the newspaper delivery person was making their rounds. And so I saw the car, and it was this kind of this beat up car. And I'm like, who is that? Like, what's going on? And as I just knew I had to like desperately, I think I almost like tried to crawl in his window when he rolled it down, like,
Yeah.
desperately get help. And even though I couldn't say anything, like I just was trying to like get somewhere. And he told me what his name was, and it matched the name of my cousin who had always been there to like kind of save the day.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I thought, okay, can I get in your car? And I didn't say that, but I was like, trying to get in. So he let me in, and then we had this crazy ride because he was late delivering newspapers.
Oh my gosh.
I'm really confused because he's got this tape to show him like what boxes to put newspapers in, is like this audio tape, and
Okay.
it's we're going so fast and we're making all the deliveries, and I'm kind of out of it. I don't know what we're going, and at one point I think I'm unconscious and don't remember anything. And
Wow.
then before I know it, like we're off the island, and I'm like, oh shit, now I'm like kind of getting scared because like I don't
Yeah.
know where we're going. I don't know who this guy is, and I don't, and we make it to drug rehab because he thinks I'm high as the kite.
I gotcha. Okay. All right.
Actually, I make it to the hospital. So
Wow. What an incredible, amazing story. And for any of you out there, uh, truly, I can absolutely guarantee you and tell you, Holly you are thriving now. It isn't just that you went through your experiences that you did, and it was like, okay, I mean, where you are, who you are, your life, your lifestyle, all of that is so amazing. And wow, talk about a courageous, extraordinary journey. So fantastic. That's amazing. So, and you're an award-winning
filmmaker, yes.
filmmaker. Awesome and
Yeah.
fantastic. And uh, just so, what do you see? What do you see as being your greatest aha, or your greatest? I don't want to say lesson, but your greatest gift from what the experience that you went through that you're writing about in your chapter.
Well, I think not it is like having that experience of like losing my mind, but only momentarily. Like that was my greatest fear growing up, because I was afraid I was going to be like my mom, and I was
Right.
afraid that was going to like set in and be permanent. And but like I went through that, and then I came out of it, and I got like even stronger. So like that's like, I don't know how that, like really how that happened, but it happened. So
Yeah.
like yeah,
I
and
totally understand.
face your fear and live through it and come out the other side. So yeah.
Bravo. I love that. So let's spend the last couple of minutes that we're on here with everyone. And Holly, I want you to talk a little bit about what you're doing now, because I know that all of our authors have been amazingly generous, and they have offered a gift, a prize for people when the book is published. The people who buy the most books and or share the event and the book and all of that the most be entered into a drawing for the different prizes, gifts from our authors. And so, Holly, I know yours is very special, and it's just for that right person. And the other thing, the reason why I want to talk about it right now is that I believe that there are going to be women watching this that need you, and they won't necessarily win your prize, and yet at the same time they're going to resonate with you, and they're really going to want to contact you and talk to you. So talk a little bit about what your gift is and who you are, so that the women, I know there are women that are just waiting to hear this message. So tell us.
Well, I do visual storytelling and branding and marketing for filmmakers and film festivals and other kinds of digital creatives. But I'm thinking that resonating with the kind of audience that's probably watching, might be somebody, that a woman who has a story, doesn't maybe consider herself a filmmaker yet, but has something in her to say, maybe doesn't even know what it is yet, but like I help with like packaging and getting the polish needed to get your story to distribution. So if you resonate with that, I'd love to talk with you. I'm offering I think an hour consult to you see where you're at and see how I can help. So yeah, I would love to hook you up.
Awesome. As you were talking about that, I was thinking about all 10 of the authors,
Yeah.
and like we all need our documentary. You know, we all need our
Yeah.
film. We all need it. As I'm thinking that, giving me some ideas. Like, oh
There's
boy,
an idea there. That'd be awesome.
I
Yeah.
know, right? Okay, you saw it
Okay.
first here, live and in person. I love it, love it, love it. Well, Holly, thank you again so much for joining me. I know that you have an interview now with a reporter, so that's
Yeah,
really exciting as
I
well.
know.
And that's the other thing about this collaborative. You know, all of our authors, it's brought to them. Well, you have drawn to you. It's not this necessarily, but you, because you've joined the sacred circle, you've drawn to you these amazing opportunities for really allowing your voice to be amplified out into the world. And Holly, your story is so special and so vulnerable and so powerful all at the same time. I am honored and in awe of you, and I am so grateful to have you as a friend, as a collaborator, and as one of the inspiring women in the Wild and Wise Women around the world. This is amazing, and you are, you know, a big part of why it's so amazing. So thank you.
Thank you, Bev. And it is very hard to tell this story, but I think it's important that I do, just because there's other people out there experiencing similar things or not admitting they're experiencing similar things, and they
Yes,
get through them. You know, you can. So
absolutely. Amen to that, Holly. Thank you so much. And to everyone else there, thank you for joining us. And we'll look forward to seeing you with you soon, because we've got this is an amazing book, amazing authors. You're not going to want to miss it. So thank you again, Holly, and to everyone else out
okay,
there. We'll see you
bye.